Welcome back to the Michigan Business Beat, brought to you on the Michigan Business Network. Chris Holman here, coming to you from our studios at the Capital Region International Airport. We're going to stay in the mid-Michigan area. Jonathan Smith is going to join us. He's the Senior Chief Deputy Director for LEO. That's the Labor and Economic Opportunity Department here at the state of Michigan. And Jonathan, it's always good to see you. How you doing?
I'm doing well, Chris. Thanks so much for having me again.
You guys are busy, and it's all for our benefit. Hey, let's talk, if you would, a little bit about the Community Growth Academy and what that is and why it's right now.
Yeah. As you know, back in 2023, a new office in state government was created. It's called the Community and Worker Economic Transition Office. And we've been standing up that office, launching some initial key programming, and doing a lot of deep community engagement, doing roundtables in communities all over the state. We've been everywhere from Ironwood in the Western UP all the way down to Monroe on the Ohio border, near the Ohio border. What we've heard from communities is they need some support, some help. Many of them have a vision for their community's future, an idea around how they could grow and thrive and become more vibrant. But there's just some tools that they need access to that they don't have. And so we put together a proposal, reached out to Balmer Group, a philanthropic organization, received a generous award from the Balmer Group to put together this initiative, which is designed to create a playbook that is designed to help communities, provide them with tools and resources and information that they can use for planning, for economic growth purposes, everything from, reusing a former industrial site to workforce training to, downtown development, really putting all those resources in one place in a way that's customizable so that they can use it in their community. And to support the deployment of that draft playbook, we're selecting 10 communities around the state who are going to get access both to the playbook, but also to support from our team at the state, from a consultant team, from a full-time fellow. And we're really excited to provide the support to these 10 communities in the hopes that we can demonstrate the effectiveness of this type of program and then scale it statewide.
Well, so this is really kind of preparing them, giving them a recipe, I suppose, for looking at the things necessary to make them resilient and able to, I guess, deal with the changes that are inevitable.
Absolutely. There's really tough challenges that happened in some of these communities over the last 30 years. We've seen disinvestment, we've seen plant closures, we've seen businesses go under. And, oftentimes the folks in those communities, they just they have a vision for their community. They really know what they want to see their community look like in the future. But these are difficult problems. Figuring out land reuse. There's often technical legal aspects to that. There's environmental regulations they have to deal with. Understanding they're going to have an economic development strategy for their region or their local community. It has to tie into a broader statewide strategy and really global capital markets, right? And they don't have the resources to bring on board, the kind of big consultants that a big city might have or a private company, a large corporation might be able to use. And so this is really about enhancing the capacity of these local communities to have the tools they need to plan for themselves and actually implement those plans.
Jonathan, how does this kind of tie into Michigan's clean energy and mobility transitions?
Yeah, well, we know we've seen in a number of communities, coal plants decommissioned and closed as we transition to new clean energy sources like natural gas and solar and wind. And when that happens, oftentimes, it has a pretty big reduction in municipal revenue for that community, which creates a hole in their budget, really creates a challenging situation, and then on the mobility side, look, no surprise here. Over the last 30 years, we've seen some of our traditional auto communities like Flint and Saginaw, reduction in jobs, reduction in the number of employers. And so the cascading impact of that in terms of the level of service the city is able to provide to residents, but also things like, their local water service now has lost a major customer. They have excess capacity. How do you pay for that? These are really challenging circumstances. And so, focusing in on these two sectors where we know we've seen some impact in the past is a way that we can make sure we're focusing on the areas that have the biggest need.
So there's obviously an application involved in this. Is there a deadline?
There is, yeah. So this will be open until September 11th. Communities have about a little over a month to put together an application. We designed it to be pretty easy, pretty light touch. Hopefully, it won't be a super burdensome application, but excited to see interest from all over the state.
So they can get that online.
They can, yeah. So our website is michigan.gov/Leo economic opportunity. And from there, there's all the materials are online. We also put out a press release, a newsletter. You can sign up, communities can sign up for those things. So lots of ways to get access to these materials.
So all of this falls under Michigan's Community and Worker Economic Transition Office. Can you tell us just briefly a little bit about that?
Yeah, this was an office created by the legislature and the governor in 2023, and it's designed to look at the way our economy might change in the future, and really provide our communities, our workers, and our employers not just with the tools and resources and information they need to kind of manage some of the negative economic impact that could happen, but to really understand where the opportunity is going to be so that they can position themselves for growth and to take advantage of that opportunity.
Well, Jonathan, thanks so much for being with us. Jonathan Smith, Senior Chief Deputy Director for Leo. Thanks, as always, and for the good work you're doing, bud.
Well, thank you, Chris, for having me on and for sharing this program with your audience.
Well, I'm glad we're getting the word out. This is important stuff. You're watching the Michigan Business Beat on the Michigan Business Network. I'm Chris Holman, and we'll be back with a whole lot more.